says I'm live. Here we go. Just have to figure out where I'm live. That's always the crazy part. There we are. Found us. Well, kind of. Finding us, in other words. There we are. Um, uh, what am I doing? Creative hand lettering. Group. Link. And head over to the main page, the main showroom, which is the Creative Hand Lettering and Doodling group. And today is Juneteenth. June 19th. And the prompt is the last straw. Straw, Lindsay, you can spell. And turtle. Yay. I think we're here. Good morning, Z. Happy Juneteenth. Hi, Ruth Ann. Good morning. Good morning, Jennifer. It's Juneteenth. Okay. Alrighty. What do you want to talk about? Can I tell you about the mama turkey and like 20 baby turkeys in my backyard right now? They're so cute. They may not still be there. I can barely see. Happy Juneteenth, Carmen. I mean, I don't think you wish people happy Juneteenth, but what a good day. I mean, it's just a good thing that happened out of a really disgustingly, horribly horrible thing. So, yeah, about time. How about that? I'll just say about time. Hi, Pamela. Hi, Ellen. All right. I think we're just going to get going today because I don't really have any shameless plugs that I really want to focus on. Let's just do this one. One shameless plug for the Creator of Cuteness website where everything is possible. It's just magical over there. So you should bookmark it. There are books that are on lettering and doodling and coloring that are great. There are classes for journaling and creating cuteness, and there are burnishing tools, and there are collage elements that you can print out and cut out, print and cut and use in your cards and your journal pages and stuff. There are watercolors if you like the watercolors that I use and the colors that I use all the time. There are watercolors. That's about it. Bookmark it, creativecuteness.com. Okay. Yesterday we did Don't Let the Cat Out of the Bag. It was pretty cute. Pretty cute. She came out pretty kitty. Pretty kitty. And a cute bag. And today, I think we're going to go horizontal. I know we're going to go horizontal. Oh, hello, Bugsy. And I'm going to do... Are you barking at the other dog or your dad talking on the phone? I think you're barking at your dad talking on the phone. So I just drew a line. Can you see it? It's barely visible by the naked eye. And the first thing I want to do is draw a turtle. And I pulled up a photo yesterday. I just have to find it. Oh, there he is. All right. So I love drawing turtles like this. Just a half of a circle. And then kind of rounded at the bottom. Am I close enough for you guys to see that? Good morning, Dieta and Cindy. Kathy, hello. Jamie, Peggy Sue. I guess I missed all those peoples. Okay, do you see him? My turtle. And then I'm gonna do his head peeking out right here. So do you see how, no, let's hang on, let's erase some of that so you can see where I put his head. It's kind of like a little guppy or something, kind of peeking out from the shell. But I don't think I need quite that much. There we go. I don't know. What did I do wrong here? I think this could come down further and this. No? That's better. Can you see him now? Can you see me now? Can you hear me now? And then he gets feet that are not attached to his head. Front feet and back feet. Front feet and back feet. And then a little tail that comes down like that. Hi, Arlene and Shari. Denise, I will be here for a little bit, going to town for injections in the back and hips. Oh, God. Hoping to get a better quality of life. I'm going to hope for that for you as well. And then, let's see, his face is going to be like this. And a big, whatchamacallit, big cheekbone. And then he's going to get, or she is going to get some turtle shell bits. And this is kind of an octagon, but not exactly. Getting there. So like that. I mean, do whatever you want. And then I'm going to I'm going to take a piece of paper and we're going to glue a heart on the top of that. So we'll cut that out and paste it up top there when we're done. But we need a cup and a straw. So we want a secondary line here. I think like that. Stacy says, I am at the shore and I saved a turtle yesterday from getting hit by a car. Oh, that's awesome. Poor little baby. That happened to me one time, but I wasn't at the shore. I was near the lake and I came upon a turtle who was in the roadway and a car was coming the other direction and we both stopped. And it turned out the car that was coming the other direction was the local town vet. And he helped me with the turtle. Cup. Oh, wait. Thought I had a cup and straw picture. Gotta look at how the straw fits in. Stop it. I think we'll do it like this. One of these kind of cups. And then it's going to have a straw. He's going to be sipping on it. And it's going to look like that. I don't know what else I'm going to do. Stacy says the turtles come in and off the bay to lay their eggs. This guy was just crossing the road that I saved. Okay, so that's the entire turtle. I don't know if I like it, but that's the last straw. Do you guys know what that means? Everybody knows that idiom, right? I didn't look up where it came from. Let's do that. Almost done. I mean, it's not the best layout I've ever done, but it's gonna work. Where did the idiom come from? The last straw. The term is a shortening of the straw that broke the camel's back. Oh, which conveys a vivid image of overloading an animal. I don't think that's right. The idiom of the last straw, it is right, originates from the proverb, the straw that broke the camel's back. The proverb and subsequently the idiom describes a situation where a series of problems or burdens accumulates in a final, seemingly small event that causes a complete collapse or breakdown. This is what happened to me yesterday. Exactly. Huh, I don't think I want to tell that story, but I think I want a hill here. Instead of that line. Yeah, that totally happened to me. It was the last straw for me, and I went bonkers. And I owe somebody a very big apology today. Just have to figure out how to do it. But I came unglued and left the room. Lindsay had left the building. Hang on, I'm trying to get this down a little further, but I think that's as far as it goes. Okay, well, I'm just going to pen it in. I'm not very excited about this one, but I was originally. I had the idea and I thought it was cute, but I don't know. We're going to give this turtle a flower. What do you want to talk about? My husband went to the doctor yesterday. His heart is back to 60 to 65%, and that is normal. And that is exciting. We've been waiting for this day. Okay, there's the head. Not too excited with it. But it's going to work. What did the doctor say yesterday about your husband? That he's good, that his heart has done what it was supposed to do, and he did what he was supposed to do. And he's back to not 100%, but where he should be. Do you know what I mean? Because of the cardio rehab and the fact that he has changed his diet and what else? The exercise that he does at home now and everything that he did correct. So that is a good thing, a really, really good thing. No, he doesn't have to have surgery. He's totally good. No open heart surgery, no pacemaker. He just has to be careful for the rest of his life. You know, we don't want to get him back where he was. So we were so excited when we left the doctors. And then we get to the car. I was waiting for my husband to leave to tell you this story. We get to the car, and my stepmother-in-law, is that what you would call her? Like the woman that my father-in-law married 25 years ago, that is not my husband's mother, called. And it's always fun to talk to her because she's always got another complaint about my father-in-law, because he is getting like Clint Eastwood, get off of my lawn, you know, the crazy old man, but really bad. So it's a crazy story. She lives here in California. He lives in Utah. But at this point in his life, he can't really live by himself in a big house in the middle of the desert in between. Wait, I'm checking on the dogs. In between Bryce and Zion. So it's really the middle of nowhere. So he can't live by himself, but he had a dentist appointment. So his dentist is there. So he had to go back to Utah to go to the dentist. And she didn't want him to drive. So she's been stalling until the day before. And he finally took the keys and said he was leaving without her. And luckily, she got in the car. Um, Luckily, he got in the car and they drove together to Utah. But long story short, he goes to a town called Mesquite, normally on his way to Utah. And she was driving because she's not letting him drive anymore, which is a really good thing. And they got to Las Vegas and she got tired. And she said, "Can we just stop in Las Vegas?" Mesquite's another hour and a half away, probably close to that. And he's like, "No, I want to go to Mesquite." And she said, "No, I can't drive that far." And he said, "Well, I'll drive." And she said, "No." And they fought. And my father in law is 86 years old. And he's just getting really not nice. I'll just say that. Um, and he just is very mean to her. So, long story short, they made it to Las Vegas. They stayed. He didn't talk to her all night long. They got up early. He got up early and said, "We're leaving. I want to go to Mesquite." So they had to take one full extra day just so he could go to Mesquite. He loves this hotel. He likes the buffet. He loves to gamble. So they got there. The hotel that they stayed at in Las Vegas was one that you drove in, like a motor hotel, and you just walked to your room. Well, the hotel in Mesquite is big, you know, like a casino hotel. She said when she checked in, they had to go to the room, which was kind of far, and he could barely walk to the room. And we've been talking about this to him for a long time, that he can't walk anymore. He's not doing well with his memory. And he barely could get to the hotel room. And then he would have to sit and stop and sit on benches, right? So she was trying to nicely tell him, "See, Bob, this is what I'm talking about. You just can't do it anymore." We've all been telling him, "You need to just stop." But he acts like he's 12 and he doesn't listen to anybody's suggestions. And then he just screams and gets mad. um, kind of like somebody else I know. So anyway, he had to stop before they went to the hotel room a bunch of times, could barely make it to the hotel. Then they left the next day, hotter than blazes outside, right? In the middle of Mesquite, which sounds like it should be hot, and it is. And they got into the parking lot, and the car was parked far away because he doesn't believe in asking for a handicap license plate, although basically he's handicapped. So somehow he fell in the parking lot. She had to leave him sit there because she couldn't get him up. He couldn't get up. And she had to go get the car and bring it over and told him that he needed to go to a doctor or urgent care. And of course, he said no. And so they just went home. And then when they got home, he was very angry at her for no apparent reason, because of course it's her fault that he fell. And he had his dentist appointment the next day. He didn't even talk to her. She was going to drive him. He grabbed the keys and just left and was gone all day. And she didn't know where he was or how he was doing or anything. So she called us right when Brent got out of the doctor's appointment and said, what do we do? What do we do? We need to do something. So I said, does he have a regular physician? And of course, my father-in-law doesn't, because he doesn't believe in doctors or anything good for him. Um, but she did tell me, yes, he sees a doctor here locally once a year. And I said, okay, that's easy. You're going to call the doctor. You're going to talk to the receptionist and you're going to say, I need you guys to call and tell him it's time for his physical once a year and get him in there and take his keys away, because they did that for my dad. They took my dad's keys away, the doctor. I called the doctor ahead of time. I said, my dad is almost putting his car into the front of the building where I work every time he comes to visit me with my mom in the car. And I'm not as concerned about that as I am about him running over somebody or killing somebody or whatever. So they were really nice about that with my dad. They took away his keys, and sadly, like 4 weeks later, my dad passed away. Um, but it wasn't from the keys, it was from just whatever. It is dementia, Kathy, but he won't go see a neurologist. So this is our first step to get him to a neurologist. Anyway, so yeah, so she's going to call the doctor and get him in for an appointment. We couldn't reach either one of them yesterday to make sure that he made it home. I'm sure he did, or we would have heard something. So that happened right as we got in the car to leave the doctor's office with my husband and the good news. So then I'm stressed out, right? I'm stressed out about many things right now. There's something going on with Brent's aunt, with Brent's dad, with Brent's mom. It's just too much for my little brain right now. So we talked about it the whole way, which was about 2 minutes to Brent's mom's house. And she opens the door and immediately wants to know how the doctor was for Brent. And I told her, and I'm not going to tell you what she said, but it was something that set me off completely. I went in a tailspin. I just went crazy, bonkers. I was pissed that she said this thing, because this is what she does. And so we sat down and started talking, and she's worried about her sister. There's so much going on. It's not even funny. She's worried about her sister, whose daughter just moved her from one facility to another. Um, and we don't know where she is now. And the daughter, her sister's daughter, my mother-in-law's niece, won't tell us where her sister is. It's a long story, but anyway, I got really mad, really mad. And I told my mother-in-law, look it, you've got to stop worrying about everybody else, you're going to give yourself a heart attack or worse, because she calls us crying every day about this. And I'm like, you just can't. You can't. What do you have at home here that you can use to take your mind off of this? And I said it like 400 times. Oh, somebody new. Hi, Tony. What is there a list of the idioms somewhere? I'm way behind. Sorry, I'm just spilling my guts out here. Yes, it's in the files section under June prompts. It should be the very first one in the files section if you want the prompts. Did I miss any other questions? I'm so sorry. I'm being very selfish today. So, yeah. So I told my mother-in-law, you've got to find some type of meditative thing to just take your mind off of it. And she sits there all day long with the news on, one of those news channels, not like local news, but like stuff that's happening in the government. And then she just gets pissed about what's going on in the world. And we tell her, turn the TV off, watch something else. She likes Gunsmoke. She likes to watch the Flintstones. I mean, it's kind of crazy the things she wants to watch, but she does. And that's her thing. And I'm all for it. So, back to my story. I said, can you find something that will take your mind off of this during the day? I said, Brent has gardening. He has his slot cars. He has fix it things around the house. I said, I do art when I'm stressed, and art calms me down, but I will also journal. I also clean my house, and I know she loves to clean the house. So I said, maybe you want to clean the house. You know, maybe clean your house. That usually calms you down. And she looked at me with the blankest stare I've ever seen in my life. And I kid you not, my husband said nothing. I said nothing. 2 minutes later, she's still staring at me. I swear to you, it was 2 minutes. I'm not exaggerating. And she just went right back to, well, I'm so worried about my poor sister. And I said, Carol, you've got to answer my question. Answer the question that I just gave you. Is there something, and I said the whole thing again, is there something that you can do here? Is there something we can go buy you, like puzzles? She used to do coloring, like those coloring books. I said, we'll go get you a coloring pages to color. She goes, silence, silence. I'm just so worried about my sister. And I'm like, Carol, you can't not answer the question. You're going to hurt yourself. You're just going to put yourself in the hospital, and then we're going to have one more person to deal with. And I just want to figure out how to calm you down. And again, it was like talking to a 2-year-old. I'm not kidding. And I'm sorry that I'm telling you this story. It all has to do with that's the last straw, because I just can't deal with her on a daily basis anyway. I'm sorry to say, she and I are in two different paths in the world. Um, and this was like the end to all ends. What should we have this turtle drink? I think a purple drink. No Howie yet, honey?
Oh, no, I was out doing a couple things. I told him an hour.
Oh. Sorry, husband came back in. So I picked up my phone and my keys and I walked out. I just left. I said, I can't deal with this anymore. I'm sorry. I'm going. And she looked at me as I was walking out and she said, what's wrong? I don't understand. And the look on her face was just so confused. And I'm sorry. And I feel like a horrible person. All night long, I felt really bad for doing that. But it was the last straw for me. My husband goes over there every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday when he has his cardio rehab. We take her out all the time, like once or twice a week. Um, I don't know what else to do for her. She's been lonely on her own accord for years because she has decided she never wanted to remarry because my father-in-law was it for her. And so she's kind of done this to herself. She didn't want to ever. She has no friends, really, except for the next door neighbor, which is good. At least she has the next door neighbor. I got to tell you, I could have put myself right into therapy yesterday. I was in really bad shape after this happened. I sat outside. My husband and his mom continued to have their talk. He said they talked about the news because that's what she likes to do. They talked about nothing else, really. The news, from what I understand. She just goes right to, oh, I know what set me off. It was after I asked her the question and she couldn't answer it. And then she said, oh, I'm just so worried about my poor sister. And we're all worried, but it's a very long story. You just can't worry. She just can't keep worrying about her. So she, after I said, is there something that we can bring you or do or whatever? She looks at Brent and goes, just so happy about your outcome at the doctor. And I'm like, Carol, stay on topic. We're talking about you. I want to help you. She just can't. She just can't stay on topic. Anyway, Stacy said, Lindsay, you need to stop giving her solutions. Just put it back on her. And okay, understand you are worried about what can you do. Ask her what she has control over. No, she wouldn't understand that. She doesn't have dementia. She just has old people's problem. And she's had it for years. She's been old for years and years and years. What comes after purple that I want to put in here? And I know I've told this a million times, but we gave her a beautiful 50th birthday party. That was decades ago. And after that, or that day, she decided she was done with life. And she just started sitting around and doing nothing and just waiting to be done. It's so frustrating to me. But I owe her an apology because I was horrible. Horrible. I was horrible. Brent is fabulous, Carol. He's doing really good. The doctor cleared him pretty much. But then the doctor said, oh, well, maybe you should come in for another check in November. So we're going back in November. He does have to have a sleep study because they're kind of thinking that maybe it was brought on by sleep apnea, which is probably true. So I have to book the sleep study today. I love this hill. I don't really understand it, but it's cute. She needs daycare for old people. She will not go. We signed her up for a yoga class. She found every reason in the world not to go. She really wants to do yoga, but she doesn't. Yeah, she doesn't. She won't. She doesn't want to be with people. She just wants to wallow, you know? Wallowing. Okay, what color should I put this? I kind of want a brown. Oh, I got to paint her toenails. We finally stopped asking her if she wanted to go do things with us, and we just take her and do things. We don't even tell her we're coming, because otherwise she would just sit all day. She's the one that spends 4 hours at the market. The other day she was like 4.5 hours at the supermarket because she loves the supermarket. we now just let her go. Although one of these days she's not going to be able to drive, probably sooner than later. They're both 86 years old. My mother-in-law and my father-in-law. And here's the craziest thing. They divorced years ago because they couldn't get along with each other. And now they both are very similar. They have more similarities than they do things that they don't like about each other. It's crazy. Hi, Carrie. Like he sits and watches the news all day, and so does she. They watch just, whatever is going on in the government. They want to know. And I keep saying, you really don't need to know. It doesn't affect you. Just watch your local news so you can get the weather, what's happening with local kids in the area. Oh, I do like that strip of yellow right there. And they laugh at me. They're like, no, we love the news. Like, you guys should be married together again, and he should divorce his current wife, and they should just get back together. Funny. Funny, not funny. Oh, I do like that sand kind of color. That's good. Anyway, that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. So I just exploded on her. And it was for a good reason, but it was stupid because I know that she's never going to change or understand anything that I was trying to explain. But I had had enough. It was the straw that broke the camel's back for me, really. Hi, Carrie. I've been really loving your iCads. Hey, thanks, girlfriend. Oh, I want to put color in the straw. Let's do orange, maybe. Quiet, Bugsy. Quiet, Bugsy. Does she do her own housework? Yes. I bought her a Swiffer. We bought her a vacuum. She can't figure out how to use the vacuum because, sh- she doesn't want to try, I guess I should say. So she hasn't vacuumed in a long time. My brother-in-law and sister-in-law went over and cleaned her carpets a couple weeks ago. So when we go over, we try to um, do things that she can't do. He changes the filter and the battery and the smoke detector and stuff like that. I bought her a Swiffer and she refuses to use it, and she still gets on her hands and knees and does her floors. And I told her, absolutely do not. I will come do it for you. It's not a big deal. But that's the one thing that she's really big on is housework, and she has to have it done a certain way. You know, I get it, but let me help, please. Let me help. Oh my gosh, she's so cute. Hi, Wendy. So many people I haven't seen in so long here today. Oh, it's because it's Juneteenth. Right, it's a holiday. You guys are home. All right, well. No, she doesn't cook either, Barbara. She has a stovetop, so sometimes she'll make soup. Um, but she doesn't want her oven broke a long time ago. That's another long story, but the reason that Brent's uncle doesn't talk to Brent or his brother is because he's mad because he says we won't fix her oven and we have to buy a new one. It can't be fixed. And we've told her a million times we'll go buy her a new oven, and she says don't. I don't want an oven. She doesn't believe in microwaves because they are evil. That's all I'm going to say about that. So no microwave. Oh, this is really cute. Um, so she eats the same things every day. Carmen says, this is exactly the reason why journaling is so important. Self-awareness, self-care, and being open to learning new things. Yes, always learn new things. You're never too old to learn something new. Have you heard that a million times? It is true. Don't live your life not wanting to try something. She's had a flip phone for years, a cell phone, flip phone, that my brother-in-law and sister-in-law have paid for, and now it's our turn. Well, all the phones that we've showed her, she doesn't want to try because she knows she's going to break them. And that's not true. We have an AirTag, you know, those AirTag things so you can find people. We have one in her purse and one in her car. And the battery went dead. So yesterday when we were there, we tried to do the battery. Yes, Kathy, that's the best idea, is assisted living. I don't think she could afford it. I don't think we could afford to help her with it. But anyway, she didn't want us to put the battery back in because she doesn't think that we need to find her if she needs to be found. Anyway, we are putting the battery back in, a new battery. Okay, well, that's kind of cute. A little different. I'll put a brown line at the top here. I do like her pink toenails. And I want, yeah, assisted living is so expensive these days. Do you guys know how much assisted living costs? I mean, do you know anybody who uses the assisted living facility? She should move in here with us, but she won't. I mean, I guess she would. I guess I might have to kill myself, but I've always been very self-sufficient, and she has always been, I need a man, you know? She can't do anything without my brother-in-law and Brent. They do everything for her, including changing a light bulb. Eschaton is not $6,000 a month, Barbara. When my parents left Eschaton, it was $8,000 a month. I'm sorry, I know this is too much information to share, but I'm going to anyway, since Barbara just mentioned that. In memory care, my mom was paying over $10,000 a month in memory care. And I wanted to bring her home with me, but my dad made me promise that she could stay in memory care, that she would just stay there. But it is not $6,000 a month. I wish it was $6,000 a month. The few places that are up by us, Barbara, are so expensive. It's not even funny. Yeah. Maybe that's just a California thing, but I checked some in down the hill, Auburn. I don't know. I just hope and pray that my husband and I die in our sleep someday. Kathy says we paid $5,000 at Eschaton 15 years ago for my dad. Yeah, yeah, craziness. It's so expensive. Um, that's why I've always wanted to go, like if I needed to go to somewhere like that, I would want to go to Jimmy Buffett's place in Florida called Margaritaville. But I looked into that. Oh my God, it's expensive. I can't even remember now when they first opened it. There's a new one coming to the Palm Desert area, and it's owned by Disney, and it's ridiculously expensive. In Germany, it's the same, Renata? I would never have thought that. Carrie says, for skilled care, you basically have to sell all of your assets in order to be there. Yeah. Yeah. It's crazy. Welcome to America. There is a country that takes care of their elders, but I can't remember who it is now. But not here. So when it comes to that time, she will be coming to live with us because that's all she can afford and we can afford. And then my husband and I will be moving downstairs into the basement because she won't be able to get up and down the stairs. So, but I know, I mean, I'm sure she feels the same way about me as I feel about her. We have a very hard time with each other. We just don't mesh, you know? I love her, but we just don't mesh. Stacy said that's why we all need long-term care insurance, but it's so expensive. Here's a story. My dad had New York Life long-term care insurance for himself, but not for my mom because his was through his job. And after he died, I called them and I said, do I get any, is there any recourse for this? Because there was nothing wrong with my dad up until the very end. Um, and the guy said, no, actually, but you do have a bill of $300 to pay. It was $300 a month my dad paid through his job that he had as a doctor. Ridiculous. And my mom was the one that ended up needing it, so it didn't help us at all. Linda says, that's when we'll see you here almost 24/7. Oh, you can bet your sweet Bippy I'll be here 24/7 when my mother-in-law moves in. Because what else am I going to do with my time? I'm going to need therapy. Big therapy. But she can't live with my sister-in-law because my sister-in-law really and her do not see eye to eye at all. So disheartening, this world. Okay, well, this is stinking cute, right? Am I right? Joan says long-term care insurance can be a ripoff because at least the ones we looked up, the premium could increase so much each year that it's better off to try to invest the money. That's what I told my dad. He should have invested that money. $300 a month. Redunculous. He didn't look into it. It was just something he signed up for at work, you know? They asked if he wanted it. He said yes. And they took it out of his paycheck, of course, back then. But then, when he didn't work anymore, they didn't take it out of his paycheck. He paid for it. Okay, well, have I bitched enough today? What can I tell you happy? Well, Brent was happy. That was a happy thing because he got cleared. Oh, and the doctor told him he still cannot drink tea or have caffeine. So I have about 30 bottles of Tahava tea that I have to give to my kids because caffeine is bad for your heart. Don't do it. Alcohol, bad for your heart. Don't do it. He did say he could, if he wanted to, increase his salt content, but why would you do that? We've taken all the salt out of the house, so we now have those seasonings that are saltless, if that's what they call it. Oh my gosh, it's so cute, you guys. It came out really cute. I think that's all I want to do. Because all of my cards, let's look at them. All of them have had some white and some, like some open space. Let's put that one back here. And let's just do a little walkthrough, shall we? And I'll stop bitching and moaning. Cheryl says, check out those new living pods they are building you could put on your land. She won't do that. I've tried. My friend Charlotte was selling her tiny home and we were going to put it on our property and she could live in that. No. It's crazy. Okay. Index card a day challenge. Yay. Carol says, my son took care of his dad and it took a toll on their relationship but it was so expensive. I know. Pamela says, can you drink all the water he wants? Yes. He got removed from, so they took him off of Lasix and they took him off of, starts with the E. Why can't I remember? Not Eliquis, the other one. They took him off of both of those and now he's not water restricted, but he has to watch for swollen ankles and bloating. But he can have as much water as he wants. It's very exciting. Carrie says, I'd move into a pod on your land. Come on up. My friend Charlotte is selling her trailer. I don't think she's ever sold it. I should ask her. But she wanted to move it here just to keep it here until she possibly could sell it. And we would rent it out or whatever. I should have done it. Okay, you're the apple of my eye. Glimmer and shimmer like the diamond you are. Burst my bubble. Like two peas in a pod. That one's really, this would really make a cute card. Life is just a piece of cake. You're my cup of tea. No, it's not a trailer. It's a tiny home. Did I say trailer? I didn't mean to. That ship has sailed. Yes. Her head is in the clouds. Did I not come up far enough? These aren't really showing up as well as I thought. Her head is in the clouds. Don't cry over spilt milk. Not spilled, spilt. Fit as a fiddle. Life is just a wild goose chase. I love my gooses so much. It's raining cats and dogs. You're barking up the wrong tree. Woof, 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 woof. You know what this dog needs? No? Hold on. He doesn't have a nose. I just realized he's noseless. He's much better now. Much better now. Look at his nose. It's there. He didn't have one before. Don't worry, there are plenty of fish in the sea. That was really a fun one to do. Every cloud has a silver lining. CJ says, I'd move into a tiny anything if my girls had land. I got 5 acres. Come on, bring me a trailer. Come on over. We don't have 5 usable acres, however. We have about 2.5 maybe usable acres. That's like the pot calling the kettle black. That was a fun one. For every pot, there is a lid. Also a fun one. This was yesterday. Don't let the cat out of the bag. So cute. And then, what are these? Oh, blank cards. And then we have, that's the last straw. I'm going to do some gray, I think, and then be done. That gray is too light. Let's try this one. That gray is not working. Let's try this one. Perfect. I do like the shadowing. I do. It's just kind of fun. Should have it here on the mound. The mound with the last straw. Okay, that's it. The last straw. I could journal on the back of this and tell my story about how I blew up yesterday on my mother-in-law and I walked out. Because that was the last straw for me. It really, truly was. It was like, you know how they say people snap? I snapped. I totally snapped. But I removed myself from the situation instead of getting angry. I just said, that's it. And I walked out. So I have to take pictures of this card and see what tomorrow is. Today is the last straw. Tomorrow is can't judge a book by its cover. Oh, that's cute. Today is Juneteenth. Does everybody know what Juneteenth is? It's June 19th. And it's the last straw. And then the the other is turtle. So tomorrow we have can't judge a book by its cover and reverse. I don't know how to put those. I don't even know how to do reverse. But anyway. Okay, well, I'll see you guys later. Have a really good day. I'll see you tomorrow. Thanks for listening. How much do I owe you? Thank you for being my therapist. Isn't therapy like $65 an hour or something crazy? I'll just send you all a check. I appreciate it. All right. Have a great day, you guys. Thanks for watching and listening to me bitch and moan. I really, really appreciate it. All right. Love y'all. See you tomorrow. Bye.